પોથી પડ જગમુઆ પઢા ન પંડિત કોઈ ઢાઈ અક્ષર પ્રેમ કા પઢે સો પંડિત હોય. Even if you master and read all the scriptures of the world, if all the books of the world, you will still not become the wisest man on this earth. The guy who understands this small word love, he becomes the most enlightened person on this earth. But Socrates, he puts it beautifully. Sometimes you'll come and tell me, Swamiji, this guy is hard to love. You don't know him, it's impossible to love. And Socrates writes philosophically, those who are hardest to love need it the most. Those who are hardest to love need it the most. And then we have the famous poets of India, Kabir, who connected to God, and he connected thousands to God, and he writes, Pothi pad jagmua padha na pandit koi ढाई अक्षर प्रेम का पढ़े सो पंडित होय. Even if you master and read all the scriptures of the world, if all the books of the world, you will still not become the wisest man on this earth. The guy who understands this small word love, he becomes the most enlightened person on this earth. You don't need to go from pillar to post. Try and look into your own heart and see the mechanism of how love really works. But it's so easy for me to talk to you about people who had love in their heart, who loved others, who showed the path of love. Of course, you'll tell me, Swamiji, they will espouse love. But the incident I want to give you before you is from a life of a person who had nothing to do with love. Perhaps he was the most hated man in humanity, and perhaps who himself hated humanity the most. Can anybody guess the name? Come on, I think people have. Fine, agreed. We talk about Hitler, who has actually been responsible for wars, killing, murdering, concentration camp. Actually, his army was known as the killing machine. Hitler, it is said that he hardly knew about love, but please, I'm just quoting history, don't read me wrong. And everybody can have their own imaginations, and you have all the rights to have your own view. But I'm just talking and quoting history. This will open your eyes in a different way. They talk about Hitler and they say, the two women he loved most, he was led and misled. Misled how? That when Hitler was 18 years old, he fell in love with a Jewish girl, as history would have it. Hitler, when he was 18, and whether this girl was of Jewish origin or not, nobody really knows. Her name was Stephanie Isaac. And Hitler was so madly in love, so he started stalking her, he started following her, he started, keeping special, picked up a flower which was discarded by someone he loved. But the most powerful thing was, that girl had the infinite capacity to reject and ignore Hitler. It is said that perhaps his deep hatred for Jews resulted because of his failed love, imaginary love for a girl who never loved him. Even after he came into power, he made special ads in the name of this girl, whether he could find her or not. But she rejected him. So a failed love can crush a civilization. But after trying to eliminate an entire race, there is still one Jew Hitler saved. And that was Dr. Edward Bloch. He was a Jewish doctor. In 1940, the only single Jew he saved was this doctor. Do you know why? Because he treated the woman he loved most, his mother. So in 1940, he himself made passage for somebody he loved. He hated them. Yet love has a power to actually redirect your emotions. Love takes you beyond your own determinations. I am here just to tell you that love creates the magic wherever you are, provided you be a part of the love that actually has created you. You'll ask me, Swamiji, all these histories, all these lessons from history is fine. But let's talk about our life. I'm not here to preach. We are here to share our ideologies and ideas. Let's talk about our life. One man in Bahrain, he came to me and he said, Swamiji, it's so easy to talk about relationship and love, but my relations are dead. Me and my wife, we have agreed to permanently disagree. I'm still listening. He said, there's nothing that can grow. It's finished. I am here to tell you, miracles still do happen. Even from dead relationships, you can revive them. Love has that power. How? Let me take you to Chicago. There are recent incidents, nothing from history, around you and me. In Chicago, in Northwestern University, a boy, a very dynamic young leader-like boy, his name Ryan Schroeder. He was one of the best skiers of this entire university. In a snowmobile, he had an accident. In that accident, he went into coma. And the doctors tried to treat him, but the doctors felt no medicine will work because his body did not respond. You can go into coma, but slowly if your body and the mechanism begins to respond, there is hope. Unless the body responds, there can be no medicine. So after a couple of weeks, the doctors washed their hands off. The doctors called the family and said, there's nothing else we can do in this medical world for this boy. He's gone, finished. This only thing I can suggest, is there anybody he loves or who loves him? The mother came forward, and now listen what happened. Every day the mother would sit with this boy, he's in a coma, and she would talk to him, knowing full well he's not listening. The doctors allowed her, just as an experiment, you want to experiment, the doctors allowed her to speak to the child, knowing all well that nobody or nothing is responding. But for 3 weeks, day and night, when the mother kept talking to this boy again and again, he opened his eyes from the coma. Not only was he revived, but they say in the next month, the power of the body and the mind was such that the boy recovered 100%, and once again he became the champion of his skiing team. Love has power to reach your own body and your heart. Forget about reviving old relationships. You can revive any relationship even if it's in a coma. Go back.